What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. I remember when Black Adam came out. I think it was this past September or October. I think it was in the fall when it came out. And I remember almost immediately upon its release, it was panned by critics. Horrible movie. Worst DC movie ever. I mean, they were criticizing The Rock's appearance, saying he looked too old. Everything, the story. They just hated this movie. And I've never seen a movie so universally hated by critics. Yet, the fans loved this movie. It's one of the greatest paradoxes I've ever seen. Like, every critic hated this movie, but those who watched the movie, for the most part, either loved it or found it enjoyable. So I said, something has to give. Right? Why is this movie so universally panned? Why is this movie failing so badly at the box office? It only made $143 million its opening weekend. When you have movies, hits, DC hits or Marvel hits, making, at least that domestically. And then another 100 and something globally. $300, $400 million opening weekend, not 130, 140. And it wound up making less than $400 million worldwide. But I looked at the movie, and I thought it was a really good movie. But I have an idea about why the movie is not liked. I have a sinking suspicion as to what it's about, and it's about the subject matter that's talked about in the movie, which I'm not going to go in detail unless you've seen Black Adam. But I have an idea what it's about. I do. Now, this movie was not nearly Black Adam, nearly as advertised as The Flash. I mean, The Flash has been advertised for several months now. You probably see it on some YouTube ads, television, ads on other websites, streaming sites. You can't escape it, and it was one of those heavily hyped movies. Michael Keaton reprises his role as Batman, other little hidden Easter eggs in this movie as well, other cameos. I can't think of a movie outside since, I would say, Endgame that has been this heavily hyped. But despite all of that, despite the hoopla, it's actually doing worse than Black Adam. It only made worldwide $130 million. Now, that might have been a big hit 20 years ago, but not today's world. You see the numbers. Similar budget, similar outcomes. As a matter of fact, Black Adam did marginally better, with less, with less hoopla, a lot more negative reviews, and pretty much only did as well as it did off the strength of the Rock fan base. So you have to ask yourself, what caused this? And I have one answer: Ezra Miller. They're trying to lessen the extent of Ezra Miller on it. It's Ezra Miller. There are a lot of people who do not want to watch this movie because of the antics of this guy. You don't want to root for this guy. Think about it. You see the things this guy's been accused of in his personal life? Numerous assault charges, assault and battery, kidnapping, burglary, damn near terroristic acts. grooming a minor. A lot of different things. And you want this to be the star of the movie? You want us to root for this guy? No. That's a large part of it. And I look at this as nothing more than chickens coming home to roost. This is what happens when you fire actors who want nothing more than fairness and equality, like they did the actor who played Cyborg. This is when you unfairly malign an actor. Even though I think this was Marvel with Jonathan Majors, but still, this is what happens when you unfairly malign an actor before all the facts are out and try to ruin his career like you did with Jonathan Majors. But you protect this guy because he falls under 3 levels of protection. The protection because of the complexion, the protection because of the alphabet, and protection because of the small hat. So now they universally pan at Black Adam and said the movie should never been made, and The Rock failed and all of that. They took pleasure in tearing that movie apart and still do. But they're scrambling for explanations. Well, it's going to rebound and all this. It's not going to rebound. It has nothing to do with competition at the box office either. It has nothing to do with that. It's the fact that he can't, Ezra Miller, in combination with all the trouble that he's been in, he can't carry a film. He needs to be part of an ensemble. Hell, I mean, when you think about it, the other movie that they were in, the original release of the Justice League, the original, not the revised, elongated version that came out on HBO Plus a couple years ago. The original was a bust. So DC still is in turmoil. They got a lot to work out, man, because it's not working. Because some critics said this was the greatest DC movie ever, but people aren't coming to watch it. But anyway, shout out to The Rock, because with very little fanfare and a lot of negative publicity, you were still able to carry that movie, and it's still a good damn movie in my opinion. And not to mention, people had a problem with the name of the character, in my opinion, and the story. And you also got to look at the fact that Black Adam is not as established as the Flash, as a well-known character, and it still did better than this Flash movie.